record. All right, so good afternoon, everyone. I hope that all 15 or 16 of you are here right now. I think we are, there are two more students who have not joined us, but it's okay. I hope that they will join us very soon. Okay, so let's discuss this one first. All right, as you can see, this is the notes or the scribbles that I've done with A2T1 and A2T2 this morning. So I will be doing the same thing with you guys today. All right, so to make things clearer, let me erase everything. Let me delete all the annotations first, and we'll start fresh with your class. Okay, let me remind you that you are going to sit for your reading task PB this coming Thursday. So please come prepared, right? This coming Thursday at 4 p.m. until 6 p.m. Even though the test itself would take for only 1 hour, but we will open the slot up until 6 p.m. Okay, so I hope that you guys can make full use of the time given, and I want you to read each text very carefully and look for the best possible answers, and I really hope that you can maintain the good momentum as what you have showcased to me during your writing task and also your speaking task the other day. Right, I am basically impressed with what you have come up with for your speaking task the other day. Thank you so much, and I am expecting more students from A1T12 to get A for this semester, in my subject. So without further ado, remember we have discussed the text on last Sunday together with the other two classes of account, right? So I hope that okay, let me choose some students to explain to me what have you learned from this passage. Okay, let me share the screen first. Reading task activity. Okay, I am sharing the screen right now. Okay, right. Okay, so can I have Amalin to respond to me about what have you understood about this passage? Amalin, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so have you finished reading up the whole text of this particular story?
Yes.
Okay, so can you please summarize in your very own words what the text is all about?
So from what I understand from the passage,
Mm-hmm.
it's all about like the refugee from the camp, like doing something about the festival.
Mm-hmm.
And they are like the outsider wants them to know about the films or something like that. That's what I understand from it. And some paragraph also explains about the awareness, and some also explain about the programs of films and about the films range, international blockbusters, some things like that.
Okay.
And also talk about the screen at night, what they do at that moment. And also like the last second paragraph
Mm-hmm.
also tell about the British people,
Okay.
about like the morals of them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And on the last paragraph of what I understand is they about a dream that they can't have, like they can dream it but they know that they couldn't have it.
Because of the political issues, right?
That- uh, yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Amalin. Looks like you really put yourself
You're
into
welcome.
the story very well. Let's have another person to explain to me in your very own words. What have you learned from this story? Okay. Can we have Aiman Mustakim? Are you there, Aiman Mustakim?
Yes, sir.
Uh, how are you?
Good, sir.
Okay. All right. So I bet that you are already in the hostel, right? Am I right, Ayman?
Yes,
Okay. Now,
perfect.
based on what I've asked you to do just now, so did you get to read through the story from the very beginning until the end, Ayman?
Yes, but I think I don't really understand it
You don't really
because
understand.
it's so long.
Okay, it's so long. I tell you what, okay, this is the length of the text that you are going to get for your reading task very soon. Okay, so you need to make yourself familiar with the way with the way the text is how to say, you have got to be familiar with the length of the text. Basically, that's what I try to say. Okay. Now, the story, like what Amalin has explained to us, is about a celebration of a film festival, but at a very peculiar, at a very rare place. Okay. Usually, like film festival, like Oscars, Golden Globes, um, uh, Cannes film festivals, it was held, or they are annually held at big cities such as Los Angeles, New York City, and when we are talking about the Malaysian version of film festivals, they usually would organize the award ceremony at big cities such as KL or Putrajaya. We have never heard about the fact that our Malaysian Film Festival or Anugerah Screen was held in Jeli or in Gomusang or in Pasir Puteh, right? Okay, so movies festivals are always associated with big cities, but as opposed to the usual trends, okay, like Cannes Festival, they celebrate the Cannes Film Festival, in conjunction with the city of the place where it where the ceremony is held annually. Cannes is the name of a city in France. Okay, Francis. So every year they would conduct, or they would organize um, a big scale and extravaganza of a film festival. So from what I've been reading before, I remember there are some other prestigious movie festivals or film festival which are held in some other big cities such as Venice Film Festival. Venice is a place in one of the biggest city in Italy. All right, so basically they would organize the film festivals at the big cities, but in this case, they choose to have a Dakhla Film Festivals. Okay, so in the first paragraph, okay, I don't want to, we don't want to waste time to ask students to read through the text one by one anymore, because I think that's not what you want to have. We, I'm sure that you really want me to explain about the paragraphs like one by one, right? Am I right? If yes, please press the raise hand button. Okay, all right. Okay, so as what Aiman Mustakim has told us just now, he didn't really understand the text very well. So let me explain to you. Okay. Right. So over here, we know from the first paragraph, the writer talks about the condition of the place. You know, they have got to undergo a long drive for about 225 kilometers from a meager airstrip in Tinduf. Tinduf is located somewhere around Algeria. Okay, it's located at the southwestern Algeria. Okay, and single story town means the building over there is built only you know, only around, I mean only at one story for each building. So this means it's not really developed. Okay, so it's located in a desert. Desert means gurun. Okay, so over here we know that the visitors are rewarded with their first glimpse of Dakhla refugee camp. So from Tinduf to Dakhla, Dakhla is the most remote area, okay, of the refugee camp. Okay, how many of you who don't know what's the meaning of the word refugee, please press your raise hand button. Okay, Aiman Mustakim doesn't know what's the meaning of the word refugee. So let's ask one of your friends to explain to us. Norazila? Norazila, you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, do you understand the meaning of the word refugee?
I think it's pelarian, sir.
That's right.
People,
People who
people who
flee.
has run away from their.
That's correct. That's correct. You got it right, Norazila. I'm so proud of you. If I have the, okay, let me give you, okay, hang on. Hang on, yeah? Hang on, hang on. I want to give you something. Congratulations. You got it right, Norazila. How how do you feel, Norazila, after after getting such a huge round of applause from me? Norazila, I'm talking to you.
Sorry, sir. My line was lagging, sir.
What's
Can
lagging?
you repeat again, sir?
Okay, let me repeat again. Actually, I have given you this one for answering me very well. Did you get to hear the sound of it? Norazila. Okay, it's okay then. Now, right. So we know that this one, okay, the film festival was held in Dakhla. So Dakhla is actually a very remote refugee camp. So as you can see over here, it isn't the most obvious setting for a film festival. But for 7 years, just before the glitz and glamour of Cannes, Cannes refers to the Cannes Film Festival. Okay, one of the oldest and the most prestigious film festivals which has been held in the world. Okay, the Sahrawi people of Dakhla have hosted actors and filmmakers from around the world for the 6-day event. Okay, so people in Sahrawi is the the people who fled away from Sahara Desert, from the Western Sahara, and they live in a refugee camp which is located in Dakhla. Dakhla is situated somewhere in southwestern Algeria. So from this stack, you are not only learning about the language, but you also learn about the history of the Sahrawi people. Okay, right. So and you also learn about the fact that we have never heard about the international scale of film festival, which has been held for 7 consecutive years already. Right, since 2002, I think, because the this article was written back in 2009. And then every year they would spend 6 days, to conduct this event. So this year, for the first time, direct flights were laid on from London, giving the opportunity from overseas visitors to play a part in this extraordinary occasion. All right, now the rest, I think you can actually read it up by yourself. I just want to ask you, how many of you who love watching movies, please press your raise hand button. Okay, Nurul Amalin. I can see Zuhaira Izni also loves to watch movies. Amiratul Balkis. Okay, let's have Amiratul Balkis to respond to me. Amiratul Balkis, hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay, can I ask you a question? What type of movie that you love to watch?
Thriller action.
Thriller, action. Okay, why do you choose those kind of genres when watching movies?
I feel like it kind of extreme
Extreme.
rather
Okay.
than romance.
Okay. All right. Do you think that writing the script for for such genres is easy or difficult? Writing script for such genre of movies, do you think it's an easy task or a difficult task?
I think it's difficult.
Difficult. So to make a good movie, what is the most important element according to you?
I think actors have to put
Emotions.
themselves into it.
Okay,
Yeah,
right.
emotions,
All right. Okay.
expressions.
All right. Okay. You got it quite right there. Okay, Amiratul Balkis. So a good movie, according to Amiratul Balkis, must have good actors and actresses. Okay, that's partly true as well. But for your information, rule number one, to make a good movie, you must have good script and good storyline. So in order to get the actors to play their role very well, they need to understand the whole storyline first. They need to understand the script first, and the script must be written carefully. The script writer must be intelligent enough. Do you think that anybody can actually become the script writer, Amiratul Balkis?
I don't think so because it's
So
kind of difficult.
do you agree with my statement if I say that a script writer must be someone who is very creative, intelligent, and smart people?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. So from here, you know that by organizing the film festivals, they want to promote more. They want to promote awareness about not just about the plight that they have, among the refugees community, but they also want to challenge their people, even though they live in the refugee camps. But they understand that by writing good script, they can turn it out to be a good movie. So they indirectly they are pushing their people to become smarter and to become more creative. Okay, how many of you who understand my explanation so far, please press your raise hand button. Okay, Aisha Safi, Amritul Balkis. What about Afif? Okay, there you are, Afif. Okay, let me ask Afif. Afif, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so do you agree with my statement that what do you think about Malaysian movie industry?
Uh, Malaysian movie industry.
Mhm.
Mm, it's good. It's good.
It's good. In what way do you think it's good?
Uh, give more value.
Moral value.
Value.
Okay. All right. Among all Malaysian movies that you have watched, which one do you think is the best one? Which you think it's up to the international standard?
I'm, uh, I don't know. Say in Malay movies.
I thought that you said that you are proud of Malaysian movie industry. How come you say you don't know any of Malaysian movies at all?
Uh, I not watching. I'm less watching in Malay movie.
Oh, okay. All right. So, what kind of movie that you frequently watch? Is it Western movie or Korean movie or Hindustan?
Western movie.
Western movie, English movies, yeah? So can you please tell me one of your most favorite movies ever?
Best movie ever.
Favorite movie ever? Name one.
Favorite movie ever.
Yes.
Uncharted.
Uncharted. Okay. So why do you think that movie is the most favorite movie of all time by why do you think that's the best movie for you?
Because the scene from the beginning until the end not make me feel sleepy and best action.
Okay, so it's the genre is action movie, right?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so do you think the quality of the movie is good or not so?
Good.
Very good. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Afif, for responding me quite well.
Welcome, sir.
All right, good. Okay, let me ask another person from A1T12. Okay, this is actually something that I really look forward to, even though we are having online lessons, but I still want to hear some responses from you. Okay, can I ask Nur Shadila Alia? I remember this group produced amazing piece of work for both reading and writing and as well as the speaking task. So can I have No Shadila to respond to my question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So can you please tell me what is your most favorite movie ever? Come on, Shadila.
Movies.
Yes. Do you love watching movies?
Munafik.
Munafik. Okay, that is a Malaysian movie, right? Shadila.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
so which one is better, Munafik 1 or Munafik 2?
Munafik 2, maybe.
Munafik 2. Okay. What makes you think that Munafik 2 is a great movie to you, an excellent piece of movie to you?
Because there is a plot twist.
Plot twist. Okay, good. All right. Do you know that the director of Munafik, what's the name of the director of Munafik? Shadila?
Samsul Yusuf, sir.
Shamsul Yusuf. Okay, let me Google out a trivia about Shamsul Yusuf, yeah? Okay, let me share the screen with you. Shamsul Yusuf Munafik won Best Director in Asia Pacific movie festivals. You see, Shamsul Yusuf won Best Director through his horror movie Munafik. The 57th Asia Pacific Film Festival was recently in Phnom Penh, Cambodia. And all right, this one. So do you think that Malaysian movie has a very good quality as well? Shadila?
Sorry, sir.
So do you think that Malaysian movie has a good quality of international standard as well?
Yes, but not as international.
Okay, but you see, the director of your favorite movie, Munafik, won Best Director at the Asia Pacific Film Festival. Asia Pacific is not just among Asian countries, but it also includes films from uh, Australia, New Zealand. Okay, all right. So I think it's actually an achievement for our Malaysian movie industry. Okay, but coming back to the text that we are discussing right at the moment. So um, actually, I want to ask you a question about, do you think that it's important, to every country to have a sustainable movie making industry? But I don't think that I can get, satisfying answers from you. I think we better conduct it in a physical class if we have the time. But okay, no worries. We continue discussing this one. Okay, so you know that let me explain to you, yeah. Um how to put this into words. All right. Okay, now, so based on the text that you have read, we see that um okay, in the second paragraph over here, they will be talking about Western Sahara, okay, Africa's last colony. So was taken over by Morocco when the Spanish withdrew in 1976. Okay, um, so Morocco had colonized Western Sahara, and that made, a lot of people from this particular place had to flee away, okay, to seek for safety. So the war happens over there, and then you see that this was followed by a brutal 16-year war, during which time tens of thousands of Sahrawis fled. Sahrawis refers to the people who were originally from Western Sahara, so they are regarded as Sahrawi people. So tens of thousands means berpuluh ribu. Tens of thousands means berpuluh ribu. When I write hundreds of thousands, this means ratusan ribu. Okay, so puluhan ribu Sahrawi people had to flee across the Algerian border to the refugee camps to save themselves. Yeah. So in 1991, a ceasefire agreement was drawn up. Ceasefire means gencatan senjata. Both parties agreed to stop the war, to stop shooting each other. But um, um the refugees still couldn't go back to their places. So the refugees have been left stranded in 5 refugees camps dotted around the vast, inhospitable desert. Desert means gurun, Aiman Shami, Aiman Musakim. All right. Um, it's located at the very remote area, you know, um, and one of it is Dakhla. Okay, Dakhla is the most remote one, the deepest one out of 5 refugee camps that we are talking about. So in Dakhla itself, it has hosted, it has been home to nearly 30,000 of these refugees. Remember, the refugees were originally from the Western Sahara, so that's why we call them by the name of Sahrawi people. So you see, it's the most remote of these camps. How many camps do we have altogether? Let me ask Nordia Atira. How many refugee camps are there? Dia Atira, are you with us? Okay, let me choose somebody else. Diana Jana. Diana Jana. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. How many refugee camps that we are talking about?
5.
5 refugee camps,
5
and
camps.
the most remote one is Dakhla. Okay. How many people who live in Dakhla refugee camps?
30,000.
Nearly 30,000. Thank you so much, Diana Jana, for responding to me very quickly. All right, so it's located 175 kilometers away from the nearest city. Okay, but even though unlike its namesake, I think the name in their very own native language refers to something which is not so nice, but it is located, you know, the most beautiful coastal city in Western Sahara. Okay, this Dakhla has no paved roads. Has no paved roads means they don't have proper roads, but it's located at the beautiful coastal city. Coastal city means pesisir pantai. Coastal means pesisir, pesisir pantai. Okay, I want you guys to jot down the meaning of the word coastal over here. How many of you who have jotted down the meaning of the word coastal? Please press your raise hand button. Okay, good. All right. I'm not worried with people like Nur Amalin, but I am quite worried with people like Aiman Shami, Nur Zuhaira, Afif, you know, Aiman Shami, but Aiman Mustaqim. So I really hope that you really pay a serious attention to our discussion today. All right. Okay, so we know that they don't have paved roads. Paved road means the proper roads with you know, the proper roadways, yeah, and it's entirely dependent on outside supplies for food and water. Okay, because maybe because of the temperatures as well, so they cannot crop their very own plantation. So that's why you see the temperature over here is around 120 degrees, and there is minimal yes, it's okay, Nodia, as long as you come back to our discussion, I can accept it. All right, so there is minimal vegetation. Vegetation has the same meaning as the word plantation. Banana man, yeah? Plantation. And there are frequent sandstorms. So the place is quite problematic. I mean, the place is not so good for the plantation, and you know, people over there are struggling with their economy supply, right? So locally, it is known as the Devil's Garden. Okay, Devil's Garden. But despite these obvious setbacks, okay, the town is clean. Okay, that is one thing that everyone in Malaysia, especially, should be ashamed of. Okay, because we claim ourselves as Muslims, you know, but there are still many of us who don't really, um, uh, you know, keep, I mean, who don't really keep the cleanliness at bay, all right? And you don't really clean up your house compound very well. You don't organize your very own place very neatly and whatnot. And what becomes more embarrassing is when we go to the mosque. You know, it's always, I mean, it's quite frequent. We would see the toilets are not very well cleaned, right? So that actually represents who we really are. So that's one thing that we really need to learn from other cultures as well, right? So we shouldn't be too proud of who we really are if we can't actually keep the cleanliness at bay, all right? And you see, it's a well-organized place, even though they have a lot of setbacks. They even live in the refugee camps for more than 30 years, yeah? All right, and sandy streets. And you can see over here, houses and tents are grouped in neat family compound. So from what we have read over here, we know that despite their setbacks, their struggles, their lack of facilities, they still they still keep the cleanliness, you know, at bay. At bay means they still consider cleanliness is the most important aspect in their life. Yeah. So okay, there are hospitals, but it's funded by 8 agencies. Okay, the NGOs, non-governmental organization, and a good standard of education. If what I mean with a good standard of education means even though you are not blessed with good education facilities, but with good effort from the teachers and also the good spirit from the students themselves, they want to set themselves free from what they are having right now. You know that only by having good education you can actually set yourselves free from the poverty. What is poverty? How many of you who don't know what's the meaning of poverty? Okay, let me ask. Okay, Aisha Sapi, do you know or you don't know? Or Nurul Amali, you want to explain to us what poverty means?
No, sir, I don't know.
Okay, poverty means kemiskinan. Okay, poverty means kemiskinan. All right. So and also you can actually bring yourself up. You know, you can actually upgrade the standard of your life. And surprisingly, people in Sahrawi believe that one of the ways to get themselves educated is through movie making. Through movie making, they really consider movie making as a tool, a powerful tool for them to improve the quality of their life. And they really believe that by making good movies, they can spread awareness about their struggles, about their plights in setting themselves free from being a refugee for the rest of their lives. They want the whole world to hear their voices. They want the whole world to help them to set themselves free from 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 the um, from the life prison that they have for many years. Okay, you understand now, Amalin?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How many of you who have understood my explanation well, please press your raise hand button as well. Okay, so that's the reason why. Okay, they, the people over there and also some movie makers have collaborated well to organize the film festivals over there. All right, so as you can see in the next paragraph, the aim of the festival is to raise international awareness on the plight of the refugees, sorry. So I want you to underline the word plight over here. Okay. All right. Let me ask Nur Hidayah binti Halim previously from SMK Kado. Are you there, Hidayah?
Sir.
Okay. Do you
Yes,
know?
sir.
Do you know or do you understand the meaning of the word plight? Have you ever come across the word plight before?
I think nasib, sir.
Plight means not nasib. Nasib is destiny. Okay, plight means struggles, fight, dispute. Okay, conflict. All right. I want everybody to jot down the meaning right now. Those who have finished jotting down the meaning of it, please press the raise hand button. Good. Are you sure, Wanuraina, you have jotted down everything on your notebook?
Yes, sir.
Sure. Okay, and I hope that you may remember this, the meaning of this word or vocabulary. You know, till the end of your life. All right. Okay. Now, so the main reason, the main aim of this festival is to raise international awareness of the plight of the refugees. However, it also offers a rare chance for the refugees to go to the movies and experience some educational opportunities. Okay, so from this paragraph, we understand that they get their education not solely from the schools, not solely from the classrooms, but also from watching movies, And I really hope that you guys also would apply the same thing as well. Okay, I want you to watch movies not only for the sake of being entertained, to get the entertainment, but I want you to learn to pick up some moral values, good lessons from the movies that you have watched. Because you know that good movie makers, they produce movies not only for the entertainment pleasure. They produce movies to educate people, to what's the term? To indoctrinate people. Okay, this is the term, indoctrination. Forgive me for my poor handwriting. Let me zoom this in first, and I rub these things off. I erase this one first, and I write it once again. Okay, indoctrination. INDOCTRIN, indoctrination. Okay, from the word indoctrination. Okay, how many of you who have never come across this word, please press your raise hand button. Okay, Haris, do you want me to explain what's the meaning of the word indoctrination? To make things easier, why don't I share the screen then? And we Google up together the meaning of the word indoctrination. Okay, this is how we pronounce it.
Indoctrination.
So indoctrination means the process of teaching a person or a group to accept a set of beliefs uncritically. So what I mean here is, the movie can also become a powerful tool to spread thoughts, ideas, opinion. So indoctrination has similar meaning as the word point of view, opinion, beliefs. Okay, I want you to jot down these words on your notebook right now. Those who have finished jotting down the meaning of this word, please press your raise hand button. Good. Okay, Aiman Mustaqim, thank you so much for paying a very serious attention to our discussion today, since you told me just now that you don't really understand the whole passage, what the whole passage is about. Okay, so thank you so much for paying a serious attention and focus to this, to the current discussion. Okay, now, so you see, they get to experience some educational opportunities. It is hoped that it might foster a new generation of Sahrawi people. I'm sorry, I have not shared this with you guys yet. Okay, so let's go back to this paragraph. This is one of the most important thing that you need to understand regarding the message of the text or message of the passage. Okay, so it is hoped that it might foster a new generation of Sahrawi filmmakers, especially as this year, the festival also celebrated the opening of permanent film, radio and television school in a neighboring camp. Can you believe that people who live in refugee camps can set up their film, radio and television school, in refugee camps? Don't you feel embarrassed? Don't you feel embarrassed? You are blessed with good facilities, education facilities, you are matriculation college students, but still you don't use your critical thinking skills to observe certain issues critically. Okay, so sometimes people need to endure, or people need to undergo some hardships in life to understand the situation, certain situations better. So in this case, they know, the people, the refugee people, they know that they have undergone a lot of struggles in life, and that's why they observe, or they see the importance of getting good education. And the education is not only limited in the four walls of classrooms only, but they could learn new things from movie making process as well. Okay, understand, Wanuraina?
Yes, sir.
Okay, do I make myself very clear about the explanation so far? Aina, Wanuraina?
Yes, sir, of course.
Good, thank you so much for focusing on my explanation. Okay, so we continue with the next paragraph. Now, the programs of films for this year, okay, the program of films for this year, remember how many times the film festival had been held in this place so far? Let me ask. Siti No Alia Maisarah. Okay, we have learned about the idea of how many times the festival had been held in the first paragraph. Do you still remember it? Siti Alia Maisara?
7, sir.
7 years as the time this article was written. This article was written back in 2009, and it has been held for 7 years already. So you see, the program of films for this year included over 40 films around the world. Okay, it's not only the movies created by the Sahrawi people, but it has showcased the movies from all over the world, from around the world. Okay, and the films range from international blockbusters. You know that international blockbusters, the movies who are top hit, which are very top hit, such as Avengers. What else? I don't watch movies. I don't watch popular movies or top hits, international blockbusters so much. John Wick, Superman, something like that. So that's under the category of international blockbusters. To some various works on and by the Sahrawi people. Okay, I want you to pay attention to this phrase. Various works on and by the Sahrawi people. Okay, let me ask No Zuhaira Izni. No Zuhaira Izni. Hello, Zuhaira Izni. Paging for Zuhaira Izni.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what do we mean by various works on and by the Sahrawi people over here? Do you understand what the statement means? Can you please explain to us what this statement means? You see, I'm highlighting it with the pink highlighter over here. Can you please explain to me or to us what the statement means? Zohaira Izni, I'm talking to you. Please turn on your microphone.
Sorry, sir. My line is trouble. My line is not stable.
Okay. All right. Now, what I'm asking you just now is
Hello,
a
sir.
very yes,
Can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you.
What, sir?
Okay. Do you see the screen that I'm sharing right now? Zohaira.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you see the
Yes,
one that
sir.
I underlined it with pink color over here?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, so can you please explain to us the difference between various works on and by the Sahrawi people? Come on, Zuhaira, turn on the microphone, please.
I don't understand. Yes, sir. I don't understand.
Okay, all right. So if you don't understand, how many of you who wants me to explain to you guys about this phrase, please press your raise hand button. Yeah, Alia Maisara, Mustaqim, 7-6. Okay, a lot of you needs me to explain to you. All right. Don't worry, I'll explain to you. Okay, so you see, various works on and by the Sahrawi people. Okay, so when we talk about various work on Sahrawi people, this means movie makers from other parts of the world, maybe from the USA, maybe from Malaysia, maybe from London, they create or they produce a movie about the life of Sahrawi people, various work on Sahrawi people. But if we write the phrase like this, various works by the Sahrawi people, this means the Sahrawi people themselves who created or who produced that short movies, that video messages, that story. Okay, so this means various works on and various works by are connotate two different meanings. All right. How many of you who understand the explanation very well, please press your raise hand button. Okay, Alia Padlina. How many of you who need me to explain more? How many of you who still do not understand me? Wanuraina, do you need me to explain further? Wanuraina?
Yes, sir. Can you?
Okay, right. So, right. So as you can see over here, okay, let me put it in simpler sentence. So various work on Sahrawi people, this means it's not necessarily coming from the people from Sahrawi people. The workcraft or the movies are not necessarily coming from Sahrawi people, yeah. So it can be like maybe the movie is created or is produced by me, Abdul Hakim, who creates a story about the life of Sahrawi people. You see various work on Sahrawi people, tentang Sahrawi people, and as compared or as opposed to variety works by the Sahrawi people. When you talk about this preposition on, this means about ataupun tentang Sahrawi people that can be created by anybody else, not necessarily the Sahrawi people themselves. But when we talk about various works by the Sahrawi people, this means ianya diproduce. These works are produced by the Sahrawi people themselves. Understand me better now, Wanuraina?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the difference is, the twist is on the preposition on and by. Okay, so you need to be careful when you read the text, whether the meaning is, that's why the preposition would make a lot of difference as well. Okay, so you better be careful when reading through the text. Okay. The theme mostly centered on the experience of struggle and hope, but there were lighter moments such as animated films for the children and a flash of racial waist naked during the ancient Egyptian epic Agora, and which proved to be the highlight for many older boys. So you see, over 40 films, it's not all about the films produced by the Sahrawi people only, but there are some international blockbusters. There are also some light movies which are catered for the children, such as animated films. And there is also a film which will attract older boys to watch it because of this thing, naked. Right. I don't know. I presume that, you know, the Sahrawi people are mostly Muslims, but I don't know what has gotten into them until they are not, you know, they are not shy to watch openly movies, you know, filthy movies like this. I hope that nobody, you know, none of you who would do that at all cost. Okay. Now, so however, the runaway favorite was A Victim, a documentary about Ibrahim Lebe, a 19-year-old Sahrawi who lost his leg to a landmine last year. Okay, let me ask another person just to test your understanding. Haris. Are you there, Haris? Muhammad Haris bin Zahari?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have you ever come across the word landmine before?
Yes.
Okay, what does it mean?
Bomb.
Yes, periuk api. Okay, have you heard the term of periuk api before? It's not periuk nasi that you use to cook your rice. Periuk api means, you know, the bomb. All right.
Periuk api.
Okay. All right. Good. Thank you so much, Haris bin Zahari. Okay, so let's continue. I hope that you can actually read and understand it by yourselves. I feel like I am still a high school teacher, like a Form 1 and Form 2 teacher who needs to explain every single thing to the students, but it's okay. I understand that some of you really don't understand because of the language, the level of the language. So films are screened at night. So the daytime is taken up with exhibitions, camel races, and football matches, right? So the 6-day event of International Film Festival are not just limited to the screening of movies at night only, but at the daytime, they also have held exhibitions. They also have camel races. We know that in deserts, camels are the most convenient transports. So they would have that camel races, just like the Western people would have the horse races, yeah, and football matches as well. And one afternoon, the London-based charity Sandblast put a joint workshop with a filmmaker. And the purpose is to give the refugees the opportunity to learn about filmmaking and create their own video messages. Okay, so it's not just about celebrating the famous faces of international movie makers or actors or actresses. They would educate the people of Sahrawi with the knowledge of filmmaking and how to create video messages. And then some good video messages were put online so that their extended families back in Western Sahara, remember, they still have their families back in Western Sahara, even though they are now in the refugees camp somewhere in Algeria. Okay, now let me share with you this page. Okay, so just now we have come across this term, extended family versus nucleus family. I'm sure there are some of you who still couldn't figure out the difference between extended family and nucleus family. Okay, before I explain further, how many of you, okay, let me ask Amalin then. I think Amalin can explain to us the difference between extended family and nucleus family. Amalin? Let me spell it properly with a good handwriting. And you,
Sir,
yes,
can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you. Is that you, Amalin? Are you using Shadil?
Yes, sir.
Are you using Shadila's?
Yeah, my line is
Okay, it's okay. All right. Do you know the difference between extended and nucleus family?
I have heard it before this, but I'm not too sure about the meanings of it.
Okay, so it's okay. Let me explain to you guys. All right. So nucleus family is a formation of a father, mother, brothers and sisters. It's a nucleus family, and extended family is our grandparents, uncles, aunts, cousins, second cousins. So that's what we mean by extended family. And nucleus family is our very immediate family members, okay? Our father, mom, brother, and sister. So this is what we mean by nucleus family. All right. So how many of you who find this as something new to you today? Please press your raise hand button. Okay. So now you can actually apply this into your write-up. Okay. Remember that you are not learning English only for the sake of getting good grades for your matriculation college grades, but you are going to use the language for the rest of your life, especially when you are going to get yourself involved into the corporate sector. Of course, you need to have a good command of language. All right. So I don't want you to stop learning English just because you are not going to take up English lessons anymore in the university later. I really hope that you can continue learning English, okay, from time to time. Okay, let's go back to our text. Okay, so over here, they use they upload the videos on the YouTube, and then they send a very good message to their extended families who are still in Western Sahara. So from where they have been separated for more than 33 years. Okay, so that's how the technology can help them to get communicated with each other, even though they are separated very far away from each other. Yeah. So Helen Whitehead, a filmmaker from London, said, working together really broke down language and cultural barriers. You see, when they work on completing a movie project, despite the language differences, of course, Sahrawi people wouldn't speak English, they wouldn't understand English, but with the same vision or the same purpose, which is to create good movies with good messages, they can still communicate well with each other, and by working on this project, they have really broken down the language and cultural barriers. So that's why some people say that films are actually an international language, a very powerful tool that functions as an international language, which unites the people from all over the world. So what matters the most is actually the message, the underlying message of it. So it was a very rewarding, and we came across some real talent. As what we have discussed earlier, they don't take movie making as something for entertainment pleasure only. They treat this movie making as a very important lesson for them, so that they can spread awareness, they can spread strong messages to the whole world. Okay. And I hope that for those who are interested to further their studies in the movie making studies, you would have the same mindset as well. Okay, we need to somehow or rather change the culture, the landscape of our entertainment industry to make sure that it can actually um educate our fellow Malaysians as well. Okay, so over here more than 500 visitors, blah, 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 more. I feel so tired because I'm fasting. All right. So it looks like I'm the one who does the talking. All right. So I hope that you can finish up reading these two final paragraphs by yourselves. So let me explain the answers right away. We have 6 questions altogether. Now, in the first paragraph, the writer emphasizes, so when you answer your PB this coming Thursday, I want you to apply these methods. Yeah. So if you are not sure with whether the answers are right or wrong, you would straight away give the options to it by jotting down this question mark, at the end of it. And if you are very sure that that option is completely wrong, so you just give a cross to it. And if you are very certain, if you're very sure that that answer is the most correct one, so you straight away give a tick on it. Okay. All right. So let me wrap these things off first. So let's go through together. Now, in the first paragraph, the writer emphasizes, is it about the enthusiasm that the festival instills? Enthusiasm. Okay, let me ask Nur Aisha Safi. Nur Aisha Safi,
Yes, sir.
do you understand the meaning of the word enthusiasm?
Not really.
Not really. So do you want me to explain to you, or do you want to Google up first?
Can you explain to me?
Okay. Okay. All right. The attitude of the millennium students, everything has got to be spoon fed, but it's okay. All right. So let's Google up. Okay. Next time, I want you to make full use of the Google. All right. You don't just use your smartphones or your laptops, for only fun purpose, watching movies, TikTok or something. Make full use of your gadgets to look for the meaning of difficult words. Okay. Enthusiasm, meaning. All right. So can you see it? This is how we pronounce the word
Enthusiasm.
enthusiasm. All right. Enthusiasm. So intense and eager enjoyment. So in BM, the simple translation to it is kegairahan, or you can use another English word as in excitement. Okay, excitement that the festival instills. Okay, enthusiasm has the same meaning as the word excitement. Okay, the enthusiasm that the festival instills, I don't think so. They don't talk about the enthusiasm in the first paragraph, so I straight away give the cross to it. The sensational nature of the festival, no, the nature itself is not sensational. It's not held in New York City or Los Angeles or Venice or Cannes or not even in Kuala Lumpur. It's in the remote area. The festival increasing media attention. They are not talking about media attention in the first paragraph, but they talk about the festival's unlikely location, where the rest of the festivals are held in big cities like New York, Los Angeles, Venice, Cannes, Kuala Lumpur. But this festival, on the other hand, was organized in a very remote, unlikely location. So number one, the answer for number one is D. How many of you who got the answer correct for number one? Please press your raise hand button. So Alia, Amiratul Balkis, only 2 of you. Okay, 2 of you who got correct answers so far. Now, so let's move on to the second question. According to the writer, the refugees have been in the desert for so long. Okay, I want everybody to repeat after me. Turn on your microphone, everybody. The pronunciation is desert, not desert. Okay, follow me. Desert.
Desert.
Faster, everybody.
Desert.
Okay. All right.
Desert.
That's cool. Okay, that's right. So if you spell the word with double S like this, only then you would pronounce it as dessert. And this one is the one that you consume during your buka puasa later on, such as, kue mue, ice cream, cakes or something. But if you come across the spelling like this with only one S instead of two, the pronunciation would be desert. And this means gurun, a very remote area, very hot, without no plantation at all, except for the cactus. Okay, so according to the writer, the refugees have been in the desert for so long because, is it A, international agencies do not know they are there? That's impossible because it has involved the International Court of Justice, but nothing has been done to secure them, to save them from the refugee camps. Is it because the Moroccan government disagree with the UN? It was not stated. And a proposed vote is yet to take place. Vote as in election, pilihan raya. They didn't mention anything about pilihan raya in the paragraph, right? So the answer is D. There is a war in their home country. Remember, they are now in Dakhla. Dakhla is situated somewhere near the southern place of Algeria, and they were originally from Sahara, Western Sahara, and Western Sahara was was originally an African, territory, but it was taken over by the Moroccan government, and because of that, the war happens. Yeah. So number 2, the answer is D as well. How many of you who got the correct answer? Please press your raise hand button. One right now. Okay. Make sure you really read the question carefully. You look for the keyword first. I don't want you to be careless. I don't want you to simply tembak your answers. No, I really want you to read through the passage and to understand the keyword of each question first. And I want you to apply these techniques, this method, cross, question mark, and tick. All right. Consider all the factors first before you come up with the correct ones. Okay, so number 3, what does the writer say about the originality city of Dakhla? It gets food and water from 8 agencies? No, because that was the 8 agency helps them with the hospital. It does not have proper roads? Maybe. It has good health and educational facilities. This is what I mean just now. They do not have good educational facilities, but they have good education. Okay, good education and good educational facilities are 2 different things, Okay, you see, educational facilities such as good buildings, proper coverage of internet, with computers, with a lot of technologies being placed, in the school itself. But as opposed to good education, even without all those facilities, but if you have passionate teachers and dedicated, dedicated students, good education still can take place. Okay, good education can still take place into the scene, even though they are lacking of educational facilities. So that's the difference between good education and educational facilities. So you have got to reflect yourself. You have all the facilities with you. You have the technology and also the good infrastructure. So there is no reason why you can't score well in your studies. So please, reflect yourselves upon reading this text. Yeah. So the answer is, remember the coastal city of Dakhla. Coastal has the same meaning as the word, something to do with it's by the sea. So number 3 is A. Coastal in the 3rd paragraph. The beautiful coastal city in Western Sahara. Sorry, that one is Western Sahara. This one is no paved roads. Sorry, that's not number. This one is Dakhla in Western Sahara. So A is not the answer. It's actually C. It does not have proper road, paved roads. I'm sorry. Okay, so the answer is C, not A. All right. It's by the sea is actually the original name of the place in Western Sahara. Okay, it does not have proper roads. This is the answer. Okay. And then number 4, what is said about the films shown at the festivals? A variety of films suited a wide range of tastes. Remember, they have international blockbusters. They have films for the kids, which are animated movies. They also have films which cater the needs of young boys over there, even though it's a very nasty, filthy, censored one, and that shouldn't be played basically. But I don't know, what has got into them. So number 4 is C. Yeah? And then number 5, what was the British visitors' response to the workshop? British visitors refers to Helen Whitehead just now. So Helen Whitehead says that even though with the language barriers and cultural barriers, they still can work on completing the movie project. So the answer is B. The workshop enabled them to communicate with local people, even though with the language barriers. Sahrawi people don't speak English, and English people don't speak in their native language, in Sahrawi's native language. But still, by having mutual agreement on coming up with good piece of movie project, they can still communicate well with each other. And number 6, what point does the writer highlight in the final paragraph? So you have got to figure out this one. It's quite upsetting. All right. After all the celebrations, after all the award prize giving ceremony and everything, with the announcement of Best Picture, which received the White Camel Awards from the organizers. After everything is over, the stalls are dismantled and the trucks are driven away. The thoughts of the visitors turn to the people they are leaving behind. And at the end of the day, everything goes back to square as if nothing happened before. And they would remain as who they are. And Dakhla is gonna be gonna be remain as a desert prison to the refugee people. This means nothing would change, even though they thought that they have learned a lot from the camp, from the workshop itself. So number 6, the answer is the film festival only gives the refugees unattainable dreams. Nothing's gonna change at all. Very, very upsetting. Yeah. Okay, so I think that's all from me today. How many of you who finds today's discussion, today's lesson, a very enjoyable one? Please press your raise hand button. Okay, good. I hope that you have learned a lot, even though from only one passage today. Okay, so remember, you have got to apply the skills that I've taught you just now. Make full use of the tick, question mark, and also cross method. All right, and you have got to read through, and if possible, you can scribble, you can jot down some notes, on top of it to make you understand better the passage. Okay, right. So you may leave the room now. Thank you so much for joining me, and happy fasting. Selamat berbuka to everybody. All right. Thank you so much. I'll see you this coming Thursday. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
So,
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Stop sharing. Okay, so we